We in the studio. We in the studio. With Rob in the studio. In the studio. In the studio. Catch a vibe in the studio. In the studio. We in the studio. With Rob. We in the studio. In the studio. We in the studio. Yeah, I'm in the studio with Rob. I need to make the heat flicker. Izzle on it, only thing can make a Rico beat sicker. So listen and get your wisdom. Gemstones on your head. Good with the OG like Flintstones, good in bed. Been living a long time and he got something to say. Depending on how you feeling, dog, you might got something to pray. This type of influence that you ain't gotta filter through your liver. We in the studio with Rob. Come let the heat rock simmer.
And we are live.
Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of In the Studio with Rob. That is who I am. And so I'd like to welcome you all back. Thank you for tuning in. And I got my man once again with me, Izzle. What's going on, young fella?
Hello out there to all our listeners and viewers.
And as you can tell, Izzle is practicing a new voice. And I don't think it's going to last, but we're going to see.
This is actually Izzle 3.0, and it is Izzle 3.0 because he's so far in the future.
Yeah, okay, and he's not an AI. I'm not using AI. This is this young fella trying to do something different, so it's all good.
This is just me now. I'm elevating our podcast.
Right.
For you to be successful, I have to be a better producer. And part of being a better producer is being more professional. Part of being more professional is being on point, both visually and audioly.
And that's interesting because we were actually doing a second tape because he wasn't on point and didn't realize we only taped 35 seconds before he realized. But we had gone for about 15 minutes. So anyway.
None of that is true, guys.
So with that being said, what we're going to talk about today, I got a question, people, that came to me.
Who do you love?
Somebody asked me, why do black men date outside their race? Simple answer is we date outside our race because we can. And we date outside our race because everybody dates outside their race, not just black men. However, it's always amplified because what people see most of the time is athletes that date outside their race. And because they got money, people care. Like the average brother dating outside his race, nobody don't care. It's like, but they got nothing anyway. But let me try to make a couple of points here. Me personally, I've never dated a white woman. I've dated outside my race, but I've never dated a white woman, and I'm married to a black woman, and that's what I love. That's me. I love black women. However, for brothers that date outside the race, you date who you want to date. If you comfortable with someone outside your race, and that's what you fall in love with, that's on you. You do your thing.
That's what you fall in love with? Sir, what?
I'm just saying. I'm saying. You taking the word too literally. People they fall in love with who they fall in love with.
Oh, okay. But
people. So you fall in love with who you fall in love with. But me personally, like I said, I stay with the cream of the crop, with the black women. So, but with that said, what I'm saying, I think what happens is the problem is not who you date or who you marry. The problem is if you decide that, or you want to talk, if you want to talk about why am I doing this? What's my motive? If your motive is because I don't like being challenged, black women talk back, or they're challenging me, or they're, or you assume that they're not as pretty, or they don't have the best hair, or all this nonsense, that to me is a problem, because what you're doing is now you're talking about
generalizing,
right? And you're talking about a race of people that your mama is probably one of them, or at least if your mom white and your daddy black, then your daddy's mama is one of them. So you are actually, talking about, what you're talking about, it becomes ignorant. So I would always challenge you to always look at your motives, why you do things. Never date someone or not date someone out of fear. If you're afraid of black people or black women because they this and that, you got a problem as a black man because you black, bro. Man up. Because what happens, what I found anyway for me personally, the challenge of a black woman, that the way she could challenge you and drive you to your greatness is unmatched for me. And so I don't shy away from a strong black woman. In fact, I invite it. Be your strong self, because I'm going to be strong. So I'm going to need you to be strong too, because I got somebody weak and docile, then I'm going to be, it's going to be pretty ugly. I'm going to be walking all over you. So I need you to be strong. We need to sometimes bump heads in order to have the best come out of both of us. So we're going to challenge each other. But like I said, don't choose someone else outside your race just because, and start thinking, I don't like my race, or I don't like or this is not, they're not as good as the other people or something like that. That's nonsense.
I want to challenge that wording a little bit.
Challenge my wording.
I feel like you likened strength to butting heads, and I know you don't mean it, so I know it doesn't have to. One doesn't have to equal the other.
They don't have to, but they can.
They can,
because again, if you got two strong forces, and you're not always going to agree.
Agreed.
So with those two strong forces, and you don't always, and again, it don't happen all the time, but you're not always going to agree. So you're going to bump heads, but because you're both strong, and again, because you both have the same goal in mind, that strength between the two of you becomes even more powerful when you come to that common ground, even in those things you disagree with. If you're willing to stick it out and go through that debate and argument and look, we're going to figure this thing out together. I don't like what you say, you don't like what I'm saying, you don't like the way I'm going, I don't like the way you going. But once we figure it all out and we put it together, then it's like, yo, this was beautiful, what we came up with between the two. But if you would have not stood up for yourself or gave your opinion, or if I would have not given my opinion in this struggle, then we would have never got the best out of us. The best of people a lot of times comes through the struggle. But it's nothing wrong with struggle. So I need someone to push me sometimes. I need someone to tell me, yo, you can do better than this. I don't want you to just accept, oh, well, you went to work and you did this. That was fine. You did well. Or you pay the bills, but you don't spend no time with your kids. I need you to challenge me. Yo, you need to spend time with the kids too. You don't need to just pay the bills. I don't need you to just do this. I need you to be all that you can be. And I'm going to help you get there, because I'm going to challenge you in areas. So we do that to each other. So like I said, I don't have a problem with people dating outside their race. So please don't think that's my issue. I could care less.
That's what you're into.
You date whoever you want to date, and whatever make you comfortable. And I think one of the things that people don't realize too, you date, if you grew up if you're a black man and you grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood, went to predominantly white schools, and that's all you know, the odds are you probably gonna date a white girl, because that's all you're around. So it's understandable. It doesn't mean that you thinking any less of black people. It's just that this is who you're around, and this is the culture that you're raised in, and you're comfortable with that, which is cool. Same thing if you grew up in a Hispanic area predominantly, or in a predominantly Asian area or whatever. So
yeah, I grew up in Chinatown.
Yeah, you could have, but see, I think that, and see, this is different between especially in northeast area of America, that area. Usually when it's a predominantly Hispanic area, we're talking about Dominicans and Puerto Ricans for the most part. So most of them are around black people anyway, and we kind of like assimilate together a little bit differently. As opposed, you go to the West Coast, is more of a Mexican population, and so that population, you have some, but it's not. They're more together. So you would actually have a different view of that. But with that said, the culture that you're raised with is the one you're gonna be comfortable with. So you're gonna date outside your race, and that's fine. And again, just don't look down on your race because you're dating somebody else in a different race. I would never no matter what race I would be dating or marrying into, I'm never gonna let you talk bad about my race. Mm-hmm. That don't even make sense. Why would I be with you? And y'all think, I'm dating in a white race, but everybody around here think black people trash. That makes no sense, because ultimately you telling me what you think of me too. Mm-hmm. It's just, but they'll say, but you different. No, I'm not. I'm black too. You don't know, sweetie. I'm black. Yeah, and it's like we all black. Look, when you looking at me, and you assuming I'm not like the other black people, but you don't even know them. So you don't understand that black people are as diverse as our color. You got so many different types of black people that we just assume, or people assume, that all of us the same. All of us grew up in the projects. All of us grew up with no money. All of us grew up. Look, that ain't true. A lot of black people grow up with stuff too. And a lot of people that grew up without stuff are some of the most well-educated, well-mannered people you'll ever meet. And they ain't grow up with nothing. So you can't just, as any race, or try to blanket us in one way or another. And you can't pull me out of it and say, well, you different, because I'm not different. I'm the same as everybody else. I got my good bad, and my ugly. It's all wrapped in there. So again, dating who you want, you figure that out, but don't discount, or don't stay away from your own race out of some misguided fear or perceptions that aren't really true for everybody.
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel like motivation is a big thing to look at. Like if you're dating white women or Hispanic women or any other type of any other race of women or ethnicity, and it's because you specifically don't want to date a black woman, it might be some self-hate or something else going on. And then there's also like the fetishizing of like the other race, like white women, or I want a white woman, like because I grew up thinking white women were superior or white people were superior. I want her to call me this, degrade me, and that kind of stuff. And the same with white women, when the black men, you want to stay away from them too, because some of them just want a black man because he's a black man, but they don't actually want that man. They want the black.
Right. So it's funny you talk about growing what you grew up with. For me, so again, when you, and I grew up, as a kid in the 70s and 80s. So you see the stuff you see on TV is very rarely black women. So, I grew up watching Farrah Fawcett from, Charlie's Angels, who was like, oh, she's beautiful. But then I fell in love with Lola Falana, who was a black woman. She used to be on, I forgot the show she used to be on sometime. But anyway, to me, that was a beautiful black woman. Then you had, and so I had black women I would see, and I would always fixate on them even more so. Not to say I didn't like Wonder Woman.
I was about to say you about to tell the people about your little Kirstie Alley crush.
I like her voice more than anything else. Her voice was sexy. but then as you get, but as a kid, it was like, who was fonder than Thelma from Good Time? You can't be. Look, she fonder this day. Mm-hmm. But so there were. Every once in a while you would see it, but America wouldn't you believe that the most beautiful women were always white. So a lot of men would say, I want either a light-skinned woman that could get as close to white as I can, or I want to get a white woman. Mm-hmm. And again, if you choosing her because of who she is, and not because of what you think she is, and because she white, no, don't do that, because you do her a disservice as well. Mm-hmm. But if you choosing her because, look, we got the same goal, ambition, we got the same dreams. We got the same love of life and God and all the different. It's cool, do you? But again, don't choose somebody just because they black. Don't choose no black. I just want me a black man. Why?
Right.
Because then what you end up doing is you grab your man. You just wanted a black man, but then you chose a black man that had nothing in common with you. So now you wondering why y'all relationship always going through craziness, because y'all ain't got nothing in common. You just You just wanted a black man so bad.
Or you chose a white girl because of what you thought white girls were, and she's not even the white girl that you thought white girls were.
Right, and you never took the time to get to know her. So if anything, learn to spend time getting to know people, and then you choose what you want. And so, like I said, for me, I grew up, I went to school, all black schools. It wasn't even Hispanic schools. I went to all black schools my whole life. So I lived in all black neighborhoods my whole life. So I was never in a place where, you run across some white women and you dating or y'all friends, and I never had white friends like that. So, so it never dawned on me to have a white person to date. So I think that played a part in a lot of things as well. But and again, to me, growing up in the 70s, and black is beautiful, black is beautiful. You hear that all the time. That's what we said. So to me, why wouldn't I want beautiful? So that's what I got. So, but again, I know my man, this young fella that I'm sitting with, you may not have married.
You want to speak about my extensive experience with women?
Yeah. So you've been married for the whole life, but yeah, let's talk about that. And your wife, she's not black, is she?
She's not.
So you married outside your race?
She is Hispanic, yes.
So, young fella, what made you? Because you didn't get it from your daddy. So, what made you date outside your race?
So for me, my answer is pretty simple. It's proximity. I grew up around, I guess, a diverse group of people, mostly black and Hispanic people. So, I've been with black women, I've been with Hispanic women. For me, it's never been a target of a group or ethnicity. It's just been if I'm talking to you and we vibe and it goes a certain way, then I wouldn't not talk to somebody or go on a date with somebody or something like that because you weren't black. For me, is if I'm comfortable with you, I'm comfortable with you. Now, white women, I would think are a little more complicated. I guess something I would have had to think about more because there's just such a big divide culturally with black people and white people. Not to say that they're it's just I feel like there's a lot that you would have to teach and things that they wouldn't be able to understand. And for me, I'm not in a place where I would feel like I have the patience to teach you that. Like you know or you don't, and I don't feel like a lot of white people do. So I would just, kind of just stray away from it. And we'd be cool with friends. I have white friends, like I said, but it's as far as dating, as far as dating, I feel like it's a little more intimate and a lot of values have to be shared when y'all dating.
He said, I got white friends. That's what black friends is. I got a black friend. So he got a white friend now. But it's funny, I really don't have any. I've never had white friends. I've had one guy that was, and this was actually in the last 8 years or so. We worked together and we became what I would consider friends. We went out together. His wife, my wife, we hung out a little bit. But I've never had white friends in my life. A white friend that actually came to I've never had a white person come to my house for a good time. You have a party. It's always selling something or you drive. But I've never had a white person come to my house like, I'm throwing a party, and they were there. I've never had those type of friends.
Would you invite these friends?
I would invite him if I was doing something because he was cool. He is cool. I haven't seen him in a couple of years since I retired, but we were cool. And it's funny because he in a lot of ways he thought he was black. He older than me, but he definitely said he listened to the old John, the songs and stuff. He be singing sometimes. Be like, yo, what are you singing? But that's how he grew up, But he grew up in Germany, even though he American, but his parents was, dad was in the army or whatever. But so I think that gave him a different culture identity as well. But it's just interesting that I think we base a lot of our dating on. It's like people choosing colors, but it's really about the culture that you are most comfortable with. And for me, like I said, I don't really. I mean, all black people know white culture because we live in America. But I need you to know mine. And I'm not trying to explain everything to you. Like you said, it's like, no, either you know what I am about or understand who we are and appreciate our struggles and don't think, oh, y'all should be over it by now or anything crazy. But, you know, at the same time, so we have those struggles that we kind of connect with. Even with Hispanics, I think, you know, especially with, you know, we talking about Puerto Ricans and, you know, Dominicans, you know, especially in America, they dealing with the same struggle. Most of the time, white America can't tell if they black unless they speak. So they treat them like us anyway.
True. At the same time, there's a bunch of Hispanics that don't like black people. Yeah. Like very specifically don't like black people. So it's like I said, it's crazy to just target a race or ethnicity thinking, oh, these are the ones that I like, because that one specifically that you're talking to might not even be anything that you think.
Yeah, so, and that's why.
Or they might hate you.
And the whole thing is, so don't turn your back on your own race. I mean, and be like, oh, I don't date black men, or I don't date black women, and you black. That's stupid. Yeah. You can say, I don't like this type of man, meaning I don't want no man that's going to smack me upside my head. It makes sense. You shouldn't. I don't want no woman that's going to be, you know, that like to stay out drinking all the time. That's a personal choice of a person, not a race. Because again, in the white culture, in the black culture, Hispanic culture, Asian culture, there are people like that. Whether it's women that drink too much, men that drink too much, women that beat their husbands, husbands that beat their wives. That's in every race. So don't limit it, or don't limit your decisions based off of race, especially when you're talking about your own race. Because we are not all, every black man is not like me. Every black man is not like Israel.
No one's like me.
You know, I mean, well, of course he's perfect. But for the rest of us, there are no, everybody is the same. So because we aren't the same, you should be judging who you date and how you date off of the people and the person that you met, and let them speak for themselves.
And instead of dating specific races, just date everybody. Like, just literally everybody. Whoever you want. Just be like, yo, I want to date you too, girl. Come here. And then date her. And then continue to date her. And then date somebody else while you're dating her. And then so on and so forth. And then you pick your favorite.
I mean, we kind of talked about that, you know, when I talked about dating in an earlier podcast.
Oh, I'm sorry, I meant relationships too. Like, let her be your girl, let all of them be your girl, and then
yeah, we won't do that. But you know, you date because then you become what they talking about.
Oh yeah,
you won't become that. So, but again, but it's okay to go out with different people and see what you like and decide what you like, and then you go from there. But please don't tell me I don't like black women and you're a black man. Because I'm going to have a problem with you. Because you can't tell me you done dated every black woman. You may have a certain type of black woman you don't like, and that's fine. But don't tell me you don't like black women, because I'm going to ask you why you don't like your mama first.
Shoot, I'm going to assume you talking about my mama or my sister. Yeah. So you say, if you tell me your reason why you don't like black women and it's disrespectful, I feel like you said something about my sisters and I might punch you in the face.
Yeah, don't tell me that you don't like black women. That makes no sense to me as a black man, as a black person, you not liking black people. So you can tell me you don't like certain things, because none of us like certain things that anybody does in certain areas.
Don't be a Whitlock.
No. So you got to make sure you got to, you know, love your people, love who you are, love yourself, and then again date whoever you want to, and maybe you'll find out you do love outside your race, and that's fine too. I ain't got no problem with that. So you know, but I think, you know, the challenge too. Also, I think, when people start talking about, we dating outside their race, and it's getting a little easier now. It's like when you start having children, your children has to be raised in a way that they understand both cultures, and you gotta be able to explain that to them. You know, you gotta be able to help them with that, because they don't know. They just like, yo, I'm just a kid playing, but why the kids over here looking at me crazy, or why my hair got little curls to it and their hair straight? They don't know, so you won't eventually have to explain that. I know my mom back in the day, she was like, you know, it was a saying, not just my mom, but black people in general, if she can't use your comb, don't bring her home. So, but that was the whole. It was like you didn't want your child to be, grow up with additional challenges. So we kind of tried to, you stay in your race and they only got to deal with being black, or now they got to deal with, sometimes this family like them, or usually black people accept you. Got a little black in you, we gonna accept you. But that ain't always the case with white people, and or even Asian cultures, or like Hispanics as well. Like you got black in you, or they don't want no part of you. Mm-hmm. But that's something that your child gonna have to. So you got to take time to get to know not only the person you dating, but the family that they come from. Unless you just gonna stay away from everybody.
Yeah, but I mean, in that case, you would just need to know that you share similar values, I guess, with the woman or man that you're with, because it has to be equally important for them to like share not only their culture with the child, but it has to be important to them that they have your culture.
Right.
Like if I'm dating a Hispanic woman, I have to, or if I'm with a Hispanic woman and we have children,
you do.
Right. Let me be third person, right? I'm trying to not be. It's on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm trying to be peaceful. If I'm with a Hispanic woman and we have children,
you do.
If Thomas is with a Hispanic woman and they have children, it should be equally important for Thomas as a black man to impart his black culture on the children. But it also has to be important for him to, help facilitate the knowledge of his Hispanic side.
Correct.
So I should, as me, help my children with, learning Spanish or at least share that it's important to them.
Right.
For them.
And I think it's beautiful that my grandsons know how to speak Spanish, even though they're going to be black. They black.
They're going to be black.
They are black. They're black, but they speak Spanish, and that's their culture as well, and I respect that. I think it's I always say I wish I had a language other than English that, it's like, Swahili or whatever we could, but if our black, when we were brought here and we were able to hold on to that language to pass down to our kids, and we have our language as well, which would have been beautiful. But the fact that they do have another language that they can, in a culture that they can be assimilated into, they should be, don't say, oh, well, we just gonna be American. You're still American. Being American don't mean you can't speak another language. Don't mean you don't have, because America has multicultures in America. There's all types of cultures. There's different cultures within the black community in America. So, but don't mean I'm not American. So I want you to experience America, experience those cultures, and still hold on again to whatever your family heritage is. That's important. And so we should be teaching our kids that. And I'm glad that, again, my grandkids, they speak Spanish, and the little one, he only 2. Look, I don't know what he's saying, so I think he's speaking Spanish all the time. So he learned that. So, but
he do speak Spanish.
Yeah. So
he do Spanish right now.
But yes, but it's a beautiful thing. But again, like I said, only thing I want y'all, date who you like, whoever you fall in love with, but understand the reasoning why you do it, and don't do it because you thinking less than or less of your own race. That's crazy. Because if you hate yourself and your race, you shouldn't be loving nobody or be in a relationship to love nobody else right now anyway, until you love some self-love. Self-love first, then you can love on whoever else you want to. But it's hard. No matter where you at, it's going to be hard to be in a relationship with anybody when you hating on your own culture, your own color, and your own people first. That makes no sense. So love yourself first, and then date and find the love that works best for you and whatever culture and whatever race that is. More power to you. I wish you all the best. So with that said, Israel, we gonna get up out of here.
Whoa.
But,
sir,
what we got, man?
The people want to know, you said, I dated on something race, but I ain't never dated a white woman. What races you was dating?
Yeah, I've dated Hispanics.
For real?
I've dated,
this is why I should talk to y'all dad. I didn't know this. I'm sorry?
She was African, but
African?
She's actually African.
Does that count as outside the race?
Yeah, because she wasn't from America. So, so you know, but
that's ethnicity.
Well,
right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
man, you figure that part out. You smart.
Yeah, racist. Yeah,
like I said, but you know, but I think yeah, just Hispanic.
Asian?
Nah. So
interesting. I was hoping there was an Asian story in there.
Yeah, sorry. But you know, but again, I love black women. Yeah, you know, like who is that? I love black women. That's a song. It was a song. I don't know.
Just says I love black women.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bad song.
Oh, it's from Naughty by Nature. Love black women, disrespect ain't the way.
Oh,
Papa Ray. Oh. But yeah, that's me. I love black women. But anyway, all right. So what else you got before we bounce, man?
I guess the final thought for the day. Let's wrap this up. I mean, you wanna all right, let people know that they should. I guess how they should go about navigating interracial dating if you're gonna date outside your race.
If you are gonna date outside your race.
Well, I guess dating in general. Dating in general.
But if you're gonna date outside your race or date anyone, period, make sure you love yourself first. Because you can't love nobody else or nothing about other people if you can't love you first. So love yourself first and make sure then you're able to share that. You can open up and share who you are with other people, and they can also learn to love you as well, and you can love them and what they're part of, their culture, their, you know, their race, whatever you want to do. So again, I'm not opposed to anybody loving anybody. You know, dude, if you love that girl, you love that girl, you know, regardless of her race. So make sure you take the time to, as you're loving on her and loving, you know, appreciating her race, that you never discount or depreciate your own race. And with that, we're going to go ahead and bounce up out of here.
You like the music in the background for your final thought?
Yeah, that was cool, whatever it was. But
there's no piano.
So, tell them what do we want them to do.
Please, ladies and gentlemen, like and subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, so we can get rich, or he can get rich and continue to not pay us. We will await your return next week.
All right, next week we'll holler at you. So until then, y'all be good. Peace.
Gotta go. Bye.
Studio. We in the studio. We in the studio. We Rob in the studio. In the studio. In the studio. Catch a vibe in the studio. In the studio. We in the studio. We Rob in the studio. In the studio. We in the studio. Yeah, I'm in the studio with Rob. I need to make the heat flicker. Is alone and only thing can make a Rico beat sicker. So listen and get your wisdom. Gemstones on your head. Good with the OG like Flintstones, good in bed. Been living a long time and he got something to say. Depending on how you feeling, dog, you might got something to pray. This type of influence that you ain't gotta filter through your liver. We in the studio with Rob. Come let the heat rock simmer.